Hi, this is Judy. Let's look together at the Bear Developmental Spelling Assessment. This is the same assessment we gave in the fall. Many of us know it as the Words Their Way assessment. You're asked to give the Words Their Way assessment the week that we get back from April vacation, and put the scores into Infinite Campus by Monday, May 5th. So, what version to give? We can find that information on the District Assessment Matrix on the Elementary Teaching and Learning page. But basically, K and 1 give the primary inventory, grades 2 through 5 give the elementary inventory, except when students score more than 20 or more right on the elementary version, then you also give them the upper grade inventory. So let's look at scoring this assessment. Basically, we need two scores, the total score and the spelling stage. So let's get a copy of the test directions and the test. And for our purposes today, we'll use the elementary version. You probably already have copies, but if not, we'll go to Elementary Teaching and Learning, which I think the easiest way is to go under the staff menu. Thank you, Kate. Down to the bottom and log in, and we'll go into literacy and then assessment. Oh, who is that gorgeous broad? I hate that picture. Assessment and benchmarks. We're looking for spelling, and that's the link right there. And that will take you right into Teachers College. You do have to log in when you get there, and then you'll be able to open the directions. And here they are. So it basically gives you the general directions for saying the words. And then in terms of scoring, we're going to be looking at this section using the feature guides. You'll need one feature guide for each student, and what we'll do is put a check mark next to features that the student spelled correctly. So for example, if the student spelled train, T-R-A-N-E, we would check off that they got the blend, T-R, correct, and they also spelled the N, but it is that A sound that they spelled incorrectly. So where it says AI, we would write in the fact that they wrote A-N-E and not put a check mark. So let's look at a feature guide at this time. Here it is. So here is that example. So let's say they spelled bed correctly. They got the initial sound, they got the final sound, and they got the vowel, the short vowel. So we'd have a check mark in each of those boxes. But for train, if they spelled it T-R-A-N-E, we would say that they got the N. They did represent the N sound with an N. And they did represent the TR with a TR, the ter. But here's the error. So no check mark here, and we'd put in a consonant E or A-N-E. So once we've done that for all of the words, I beg your pardon, it takes me a while to find my place. We add up the feature points for each column. Notice that on this assessment, the elementary one, the consonants, two columns of consonants are lumped together. So you write the number at the bottom of each column as a ratio. So if they had all these correct, we would say they had achieved 7 out of 7. However, over here we might be saying that they got 4 out of 6. Let's see one that I scored using an Excel version of the feature guide. Here we go. I ended up using shading because it was faster for me to show where the errors were. And I didn't have the time to put in the errors, but this will give you the idea. You can see the check marks. If you like using Excel, which by the way, does add up the columns for you. I have uploaded an Excel version of each of these feature guides for the primary, the elementary, and the upper version into literacy resources down at the bottom under word study. So once you've got the whole thing scored, you're going to do all this column addition. You can see how in this column the student got 2 out of the 5 possibilities in this column all the way across. And then you add all these up to get this total here of feature points. Then there's an additional step where you look at it for each word. So for the word bed, he got 3 features correct. So there's a 3 here. Ship got 3 features, etc. And you add this column up and they should match. Okay? You can cross-check that way. So it does come up on here as a ratio. So this student got 42 out of a possible 62 feature points. And the next thing is to add up the words. Oh, that's interesting. The words spelled completely correctly. So for me, I was looking for the ones that were not shaded. And then I get a total down here that 10 out of the 25 words were spelled completely correctly. Those numbers on the Excel will just feed down here, but let's go back to looking at the PDF version. Here is where you would transfer the feature points here, how many out of 62, which in this case it was 52 out of 62, up here to feature points. They got 52 out of 62. And then also words spelled correctly. I think that was 10. Yep, 10 out of 25. Would go here. And then adding the 10 to the 52, you would get your total. In this case, 62 out of 87. And that's one of the points that we're looking for, is the total points. So this is one of the pieces of data that will be entered into Infinite Campus. Okay, right there, the total. So the second piece of information we're looking for is the spelling stage. So let's go back to the directions for interpreting the results. So we've done the scoring. Now we'll scroll down here to interpreting the results. This talks about if a student misses only 1 in a feature, then you can go on to the next feature in your instruction. However, students that miss 2 or 3 need more review work, and students who miss more than 3 need careful instruction in that feature. We're going to focus on number 2 here, and it reads, to determine a stage of development, note where students make 2 or more errors, where they first make 2 or more errors under the stages listed in the shaded box at the top of the feature guide, and circle this stage. So let's look back at the student that I scored. So we're looking at the stage where the student first makes 2 or more errors. So this student down here, 7 out of 7, batting 1,000. Still doing fine, doing fine. There you see it. In this column, they made 2 or more errors. So this student is at early within word. And let's look at that on the PDF record. Well, you can see here that on the Excel version, I had to put it down at the bottom, so you'd put the spelling stage. Or actually, these Excel's spreadsheets were given to me by Lori Gage. Thank you so much. On this form, all that goes up on the top. So here's where I would put early within word right there. Okay, so now we have our 2 scores. We have a total score of 52 and a spelling stage of early within word. So just one more step, and then entry into Infinite Campus. had this attachment in the email, and here was a second attachment that we had, which are these conversion tables, because Infinite Campus won't take letters, it'll only take numbers. So we need to convert this spelling stage. So for the Bear Developmental Spelling Inventory, we're going to enter our total score of 52 in as a raw score, but once we determine the spelling stage, we're going to enter a number into the scale score. So we're going to come over here and find early within word, and that means that we're going to put a 3 into Infinite Campus for the spelling stage. Okay, and let's look at one. Oops, I guess we have to stay here. I'm so glad you guys are so patient with me. And Jim McLaughlin was nice enough to make this up for us. So this is about opinion writing, but it still shows you the same screen that you're going to see when you do the Bear spelling assessment. You're going to go in Infinite Campus down to Instruction Grading by Task, which is the same place where report cards are. And then you'll select the test. In this case, it'll be the Bear Developmental Spelling Assessment. And then we're going to enter under raw score. We're going to put that 52 for this student. And under scale score, we're going to put the spelling stage early within word, which translated to a number 3. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any more support with this process, and I hope you have a great day.